Okay. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to see you. Dharma in Recovery with Kevin Griffin, typically. And I am Debbie Darrin, and am filling in for him today because he has some family in town. And so I'm happy to be able to hold space so our practice and coming together can continue. So here we are in the middle of June, and yeah, just had Father's Day. We have the summer solstice coming up. We just had a new moon. It's going to be growing now. Feels like it's been a very kind of a dynamic week. And just observing that. And I have found over the years that my mindfulness practice, that meditative practices, tapping into regularly into the steps of recovery, really support living a life in a way that I'm just more aware and pay more attention to what's going around, and the dynamics of what shows up in life, and how I'm in relationship to that. And I really feel strongly about continuing to cultivate this interplay between mindfulness practices and recovery programs. And so part of that, and what I want to offer today, is along the theme of how is it now? How is it now? And that was actually triggered by when I got the text from Kevin yesterday. Could you lead meditation for me, lead the group for me tomorrow? And I sat there for a second and I felt my body. How is it now? Right? Can I do this? Is my schedule open? Is it not? How do I feel? How am I going to get prepared in less than 24 hours? All of these things kind of came up. How is it now? And so that's kind of what brought me into saying, okay, let's offer this. I find that real life experience is really supportive, and offering any kind of teaching or awarenesses or thoughts with others. So yeah, how is it now? It takes effort. It takes effort for us to be mindful, right? It takes effort for us to open ourselves to even seeing clearly. We go around with our rose-colored glasses or our cloudy glasses on a lot from our experience, our conditionings, and things like that. So it takes effort to invite ourselves to go deeply into what we're experiencing, and how we're in relationship to what's going on in our internal experience, life, and with that which is external as well. It takes effort. And in our practice, in our recovery programs, when we make this choice to make this huge shift in our lives, we have some kind of an awareness that happens, and then slowly we peel the layers of the onion back. We go, deeper and deeper, layer by layer. And we get to see more clearly what the habitual patterns of our actions, of our speech, of our thoughts, how things just habitually run through our mind, how they show up in our lives. Jon Kabat-Zinn offers, he's a mindfulness teacher, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. He offers, we get caught up in the torrent and it winds up submerging. Hold on, let me start over. We get caught up in the torrent of our thoughts, of our habitual patterns, of this incessant things that go on in our lives. And it winds up submerging our lives as it carries us to places we may not wish to go, and may not even realize that we are headed for. And I got this quote from his book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. So, getting caught up, just getting caught up is a huge component of falling into addictions of any kind, right? We get caught up. And meditation practices, mindfulness, an attitude of mindfulness invites us to explore and to learn about how we can get out of those currents of habit, those currents of reactivity. And as I said in the beginning, this takes effort. And yet, ironically, one level of effort is to just sit and be still, really not, putting a lot into doing something, but allowing ourselves to be with this mindful and meditative of way, this way that we can be in a state of observing. We observe our sensations, our feelings, and our thoughts that arise from moment to moment. And we do this with a sense of curiosity. We allow curiosity to be the underlying attitude instead of judgment, right? Curiosity, so that we can listen and we can learn from what we see. And the more we do that, over time, our relationship with our inner and our outer worlds shift slowly. And it's not a linear process, right? It's, we're floating in a big sea of reality. And so, but we open up more and more. A shifting happens. And those things that used to take us down, drag us down, become guides. They become guides for us on this path of recovery and living mindfully. So, what a gift it is to share this opportunity to explore through these different avenues of awareness with others. And that's what we get to do today. So, let's meditate. We usually meditate for about 20 minutes. And I would like to guide us today in this realm of a practice referred to as RAIN. It's a practice that we can use at very many levels. It can be just an on the spot, a light exploration of what's happening now, or we can use it to go deep into things as well. And part of what I want to explore today is, how is it now and how deep? What are the depths that are open and available for your awareness today? And that fluctuates and changes all the time and with different circumstances. So it's just a check-in. How is it now? So let's begin, and I'll begin by ringing the bell, and then I will guide us for about 20 minutes, like I said, and I'll try to leave enough time for the reflections, the inner experience in between the prompts and the guides, and then I'll share a little bit more after, and we'll have time for reflections. So, if everyone is muted, let's begin. So, begin by finding your way into a posture that supports a sense of comfort and ease, possibility of making your way towards that, whether you're sitting or you're lying down. The invitation is one of inviting ourselves to stillness, closing the eyes if that's supportive. Taking a few deep, full breaths Long, slow, deep breaths. In this way, collecting your attention to your body, present in the here and the now, and just feeling into the wholeness of being here. In our meditation, we like to allow ourselves to have a sense of alertness as well as a sense of ease. In this practice, I'd like to guide us through today. Rain calls for an open mind. It invites the attitude of curiosity, of recognizing what's present, of allowing whatever shows up to be just as it is, without judgment, bringing in a bit of curiosity for some investigation of the raw experience, not so much stories that may want to evolve. And then to also notice the quality of not self, allowing ourselves not to attach. And then to sense into this resting place of feeling the quality of being nurtured by the process. And so we begin with recognizing. And I invite you to sense into if there's any situation or issue that you may be working with or dealing with or even stuck in these days. And if there isn't something happening right now, allowing yourself to recall a situation in your life. Maybe one where you tend to get emotionally stuck or where there's a repeated pattern. And not something that's too huge, something, but whatever arises for you, allow yourself to just notice that. This might be regarding a relationship. It might be in regards to an addictive behavior pattern. It might be something to do with work or your health. And just allowing the situation to be in the foreground. And if you can, have the perspective of it's like you're watching a movie. You're watching this scene happen. Notice what's happening in the scene. Notice if there is reactivity, or notice any triggers that are showing up. If you're envisioning a situation that involves another person, what is the expression on their face? What is the energy in the space? And if you can, land on a specific kind of frame of the scene, if that's possible. This main part of whatever it is that you're working with, and kind of put a frame around it like a picture, and just allow yourself to pause, pausing with this experience within you, just how it is, right here and right now. And if it's supportive, you can name what you're aware of. What are the sensations you're experiencing? How does the body feel? Allowing yourself to even say, yes, this is how it is right now. And it doesn't mean that you approve what might be happening or condoning it, but you're just allowing the space for it to be, recognizing and allowing. Allowing your awareness to travel with the breath into the scene. This allowing enables us to deepen our attention some, inviting us to move towards a sense of curiosity, investigation, this attitude that allows us to become a little bit more intimate with what's calling for attention. Noticing the thoughts, noticing the story. Are you caught up in some beliefs at this time about yourself, about the other person, if there's someone involved, or about your life? And if not, that's fine too. Just checking to see, allowing your awareness to scan into the body and just feel whatever you're aware of in the body as you are experiencing this situation. Investigating how is this situation manifesting and feeling in the body. And with investigation, a lot of things may come up. There may be emotions, fear or sadness or regret. There may even be joy. Whatever is there, allowing yourself to be with it with a sense of of kindness and compassion to whatever it is that is arising. And then the N of the rain meditation practice is non-attachment, realizing that you are not these feelings and thoughts and emotions. They are flowing aspects of your experience, not I, me, or mine. And if you can, allowing yourself to rest in the spaciousness of the naturalness of how they flow, allowing them to flow with a sense of kindness and compassion. And this non-attachment is onward leading. In a sense, we are nurturing ourselves. And this is where the healing is. Sensing into the presence of what's here, into what these feelings or emotions might need most. Offering a quality of time, tender and kind, even compassionate attention. We experience this life through the sense doors, these waves of phenomena, these waves that we cannot stop, but which we can learn to surf. Allowing yourself to rest in the heart space where everything is welcome. Noticing, allowing, investigating the rawness of the experience, letting be, letting go, not attaching. Allowing the depths of experience to reveal themselves as they will, with a sense of kind, compassionate, allowing, trusting. And how is it now? As we near the end of the meditation, I'd like to offer this poem by Donna Faltz. Allow. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in, the wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and successes. When loss rips off the doors of your heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, the practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes. Open your eyes when you're ready, coming back to the space that you're in. I thank you for your practice this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are. Thank you. So just taking a minute here to allow an integration of the inner experience coming with you to now and with all of us. So I wanted to kind of anchor into this concept of going deep. How deep? Going deep into our practice. There's times in our lives where we are urged to seek more. We're urged to go deeper, and I think we might have all experienced that in those deep, dark times when we were encroaching on realizing that our addictive patterns were more and more out of control, a little bit less manageable. These benchmarks in life where we shift, where we open ourselves to the possibility of it. So it's like, what, if you think back on what it was like that day or that night where you were compelled so desperately to choose a different path, to stop the train of addiction, to turn it around, to climb out of the banks of the addictive torrent, or start pulling out the weeds of your life and start planting the flowers. Remembering, how did that feel? Was there desperation? Was there shame, hopelessness, remorse? Something about our humanity wants to survive. No matter how deep or dark it gets, there's something in there when we do end up in the deepest depths. Something in there wants to survive, wants to be present. And so sometimes it's only in landing in those depths that we realize our only option to survive is to change, to do something different, even if it feels desperately difficult. So just remembering that those, the layers of your experience, the physical pain, the emotional upheaval, maybe your delusional thoughts, the questions that came up. Why has this happened to me? Why am I here? How am I going to get out of it? Did you see the unmanageability of the path that you were on? Did you arrive at a decision to make a different choice? Did you seek something more than yourself to help you along the way? These first 3 steps that we, kind of come into our recovery process with: reflection, acceptance, and then the choice of a different action. And then we come to step 4, which for me is what's resonating with this concept and this possibility of going deeply into our life, to say, making that searching and fearless personal inventory, right? That's going pretty deep, especially for in the beginning. I think if we've never been able to face ourselves in our wholeness, the light and the dark sides, the shadows and the lights. And so this is the beginning of our willingness to explore more places, explore deeper into our thoughts and our speech and our actions, and in ways that we haven't done that before. We're looking into the layers of our automatic habits and our automatic patterns, seeing things that we weren't even aware of before, very possibly. And so mindfulness and meditation are very integral components of examining our lives. And even though prayer and meditation come later in the 12-step recovery program, I think is very present from the very beginning. We're very contemplative. We're very aware. There's something not going on. We are opening to this quality of mindfulness. And so we begin at the surface of our experience and we gradually go deeper, deeper, deeper into the various parts of ourselves. I was reading something, it was in a newsletter not too long ago. It says, we examine our lives and ourselves more deeply to find the right place to start. Everything we need for success and joy lies within. But so often life's debris accumulates, building layers around our core that make it difficult to access the truth that resides there. To reach what we wish to access, we must dive deep below these layers to the deepest parts of ourselves. And then it had three suggested layers that we kind of move through. The first layer being our mind, right? Our mind wants to control everything in our life. Our mindfulness practice, I feel, is about noticing how this mind is manifesting in our life, and also inviting a resonance and an interconnection between the mind and the body and the heart. So the first layer is our minds. We get busy. We're doing things all the time. We're caught up in doing, maybe flittering about. And so we live very surfacely and we live very automatically. And so can we take the time to pause and to ask, how is the mind now? And then the next layer is found in the heart space, right? This heart space that we all have, this physical beating heart, this place that represents where we feel love and compassion, kindness, where we feel pain and where we feel sorrow. And sometimes our awareness is very, very covered up by disappointments or hurts that we've experienced in our life. But can we tap into, what really stirs us, what really feels true, and what's calling to be alive and thriving in our lives? Can we take time to check in and to listen to our hearts? And for me, that possibility is so supported by the acronym STOP. S for stop. T is to take a breath. O is to observe. And P is to proceed. Just that simple thing gives us this space where we have the opportunity to get out of reactivity or get out of being sucked in to some, that habitual reactive pattern. It just opens a heart space to maybe seeing a little bit more clearly. And then the third invitation is to go even deeper, go even deeper down into the core of our center. We can reconnect with our power there, our raw instincts, or our organic knowing, our organic yeses. So our meditation practice is kind of this portal that opens us up to this possibility of connecting, mindfully observing what's present at deeper and deeper levels, and truly cultivating this this possibility of doing so without a sense of judgment. Allowing ourselves to be curious and notice the nature of our being without judgment. This is how it is right now. Where am I right now? Where might I want to be going? Am I caught in the currents that are taking me to where I do not want to go? Can I cultivate other choices in my life that will, get me back on track in a direction that I would feel a greater sense of well-being and wholeness, even as a human being? So the last quote I'd like to share with you here is that is when we examine ourselves to these depths, we're able to find what we wish to bring to the surface and what we wish to let go. When we remember what lies beneath our layers, we can look at what is floating on the surface, causing the blocks and the pains, and we can understand the purpose that they served. We can go deep. We can live life from our truth within. We learn not only to, in our meditative practices, we learn not only to be with our mind, but we learn to work with it. And that's what the invitation of our 12-step recovery programs, other recovery programs, the invitation is to get to know the mind, get to know the heart, sense into the body. What's here right now? Can we connect all these dots together? How is it now? And we learn to work with our mind. So there's effort, and there's also just being. There's a quality of just being, allowing ourselves to observe a lot of times and to trust that as we cultivate this possibility of being in awareness without judgment and with a sense of curiosity and kindness, facing our common humanity, recognizing that whatever we're experiencing is not us, but it's something that's flowing through us. Our choices have to do with how we are in relationship to that and what we want to cultivate in our lives. And I think all of these explorations are so important for each of us who are in recovery programs or living quote unquote recovered lives from whatever addictive patterns that we may tend to be hooked into. And they open us up to continually be present and to allow the grips of reactivity and automatic habits, letting them go, saying, you are no longer serving my purpose, and can I be back into a presence of possibility of interrelationship in a way that will show me the next right thing to do, the next right way to move in relationship to life with a clear mind, a clearer mind than what once used to be. It's a continual journey. So I think that's what I have to offer today, about being mindful, integrating, balancing effort and rest, allowing ourselves to go as deep as we're able to go with our explorations, and whatever's showing up for us in our lives, and to recognize that this is a continual journey, whether in recovery or whether there's this thing of being in recovery or normies. The human spectrum involves all of these things. No matter what, we are continually engaging in our lives with this this possibility of living more fully and living more engaged, and not living in this kind of teeter-totter yo-yo of extremes, finding more peace and ease in this middle way of life. So thank you for your kind attention today, and I invite any inquiries or any reflections, if anything came up for you about the practice, whether it had to do with mindfulness or meditation or recovery process. What's present for you today that you're working with, and how might some of these inquiries and practices work for you? And I see Cheryl put in the chat, can you please quickly repeat, these three levels of of going, deeper and deeper. So our minds are the most prominent. So the first one is the mind, working with the mind. And in our practice, we're learning to follow our body a little bit more, allowing our body, recognizing our body is our first messenger. It's our last messenger too, and inviting some balance. So the first one is exploring the mind. How is it now? Is it pulling us down paths that are taking us places we don't even want to go and we don't even recognize it? So our mind. And the second is cultivating awareness of our heart space, sensing into that heart space. There's this innate thing when we think of the heart space that, very typically elicits this desire for love, for kindness. When we see suffering, we feel compassion or caring. Our heart space is where we hurt the most. Heart space is often where we act out from, and only the realm of wanting to defend, but it can get extreme, it can get unbalanced. So sensing into what is true in the heart space, cultivating our deeper awareness. And I offered that sometimes taking a pause in those moments when we're feeling suffering, especially, to just pause, take a breath, and to be with whatever it is. And then the last part is really sensing into the depths of our being, into the depths of our core. It's almost like our gut instincts. And the longer we cultivate these practices, the more clearly we can see what those depths of knowing, this innateness, these organic knowings, that part of us is interconnected and interrelated to everything else that exists in the world. And that is where our true knowing comes from, and our instincts come from there, and we get to trust them more. So I hope that's more clear for you too. I know I use a lot of words sometimes, but thank you for asking. So, okay, let me look at these couple messages, and then Harry, I'll get to you on the chat. I am Debbie Darrin, and I've been teaching mindfulness and meditation classes since 2019, actually. I've been involved with meditation and mindfulness since the 80s. And, the heart space was just calling to share it in a bigger, deeper, wider way over the last 10 years or so. Being involved with Kevin, he's invited me to help facilitate once in a while for his sessions, and I really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you. All right. So, Harry, yes.
Hi, thank you. That was very, very helpful. I haven't done enough rain practice. I actually went and looked up what the words were again, and I need to focus on it. I'm in a very intense place. I made a commitment to myself and to somebody else that I'm going to try radical honesty. Absolutely no perception of any kind. That's very, very hard for me. It feels like losing one of the tools that I've used to survive, but it doesn't suit me anymore. It's not necessary. It's something that I really need to let go of, and probably cost me the relationship. It's the best relationship I've ever had in my life, and it was very difficult. This person was going through a lot. We met in 11-step meeting. She went through a horrible divorce, and I just became very attached for a while. I was living in my house part-time, and she basically moved to another state and basically said, I'm done. And I couldn't say anything at that point because I was in a horrible depression a year ago. So I'm coming back at it a little bit now, and because I'm not done. This weekend we went to a show, and we drove a ways and did a bunch of different things and talked a lot. She's done some amazing stuff. She's a provider for 100 people. She's a nurse practitioner. So she's gone to a very, very good level of existence within the precepts. She's constructed a very meaningful and satisfying existence. But I feel like there's still things I need to say, and there's a lot that went unsaid in our relationship. And, but
Mm,
what I really found out from sitting was a lot of the emotional pain was I was thinking that if I'm losing her, I'm losing my connection with our kids. And that's not necessarily so. They're actually adults. And, I don't have to. And they're very fond of me, and I don't have to let that go.
mm,
The two are not contingent upon each other. She let me know that by saying that she does consider me family, just a permanent status, no matter
mm,
what happens between us.
mm,
Anyway, dealing with a lot of pain. Um,
mm,
I have a lot of trouble with this stuff because I have chronic pain, and emotional pain and chronic pain are hard to sort out. And my attitude about pain is different because I'm dealing with it in a physical way a lot. But
mm,
anyway, thank you. That was very helpful. I thought I'd just share where I'm at today. That's all.
mm. Thank you so much, Harry. Um, I can feel that your words and your scenario has been very heard here and held, and um, it's hard in our situations. We want to control things outside of ourselves, right? We need to make hard decisions, and your declaration to want to really commit to honesty is so admirable, and it's a lifelong work. Um, I just had one thought. I don't know why it came up, but my thought was maybe writing down, starting with writing down your honesty in very personal way, where it's still very personal to you, but being able to start writing down these truths that you really want to reconcile in whatever way it is, and allowing yourself just to be right where you are. You're whole in your wholeness right now. You're engaged with your journey, and to honor that and keep moving forward. So, thank you for sharing. All right. Reese or Rice? Reese? How do I say your name? Sorry.
Yeah, it's Reese.
Reese, okay. Hi.
Yeah, it's the Welsh name. I'm from the UK.
Hmm. So
Hi.
it's evening for you.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Well, it's 7 p.m. now. I just wanted to express gratitude and say thank you. This is the first time I've done one of Kevin's meditation classes. Thank you for stepping in and doing it as well. There was a hell of a lot of wisdom in there, and you opened me back up to the rain meditation, something that I haven't been practicing enough of. Um, most of my meditation practice is silence, and I've just started Kevin's book, and I finished a chapter where he talks about using meditation as another type of escapism, and I think that's where I'm at the moment. So that rain meditation really opened some stuff up for me and showed me where I was stuck, um, and I feel lighter after that. I was definitely becoming really attached to all of the stuff in my head. Actually, no, I'm going to rephrase that. Not all of the stuff, but some of it. I was able to let go of some of the stuff, but not everything.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so your guided meditation really casts some clarity on what is going on for me. And I've read about rain meditation in the past. Um, the only time I've ever used rain meditation is in a difficult situation rather than in an actual meditation posture. So this was really great for me. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. I really
Mm.
enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing and your reflections. Yeah, very powerful. Um, Yeah, rain can it can be as momentary and on the spot, or as deep as we might want to cultivate it. Um, and I think that's something that is really good for us to remember. And yeah, to be able to engage with that. I There was a quote that I was going to share today, and I didn't, but I'm going to right now because of what you said, if I can find it. It's from Dr. Rick Hansen. Where did I get it? It was about now I can't find it. Well, something he was talking something about the, our mind, the landscape of our mind, the landscape of our experience in life. And there's something about how everything can be refreshed after the rain, right? Things are refreshed after the rain. So can we offer the sprinkling, to whatever depths that they might want to be present for, or be, or manifest, and then just see what happens. We don't have to do the work of the results. That happens, right? That happens. We just need to get to show up. We get to show up. Our whole practice and our whole recovery is about showing up. It's okay. Let's show up. Let's be whole, be full. And yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much. And if there are any other reflections, we've got another minute, and otherwise we can begin to close up. And please come back if this is your first time and you didn't get to meet Kevin. Please come back. He's awesome, and he will be leading the workshop this evening, as I said, and then he will be back on Friday evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Debbie. What a wonderful, I've heard you before, and I've known you for a while, and I can see and sense and feel in you and looking at you that, your ongoing deep practice is really coming more full all the time. Thank you so much. I really needed to hear what you had to say today.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I think I missed what time the practice is tonight. So if you could repeat that, that would be awesome.
Oh, Kevin's other regular weekly class is Friday evening at 7 p.m. Friday evening at 7 p.m. So
I thought
Tuesday,
from what
and
you said it was tonight. So I
he,
already know about that.
yeah, no, he's teaching a course, but it's a closed course. It's
Gotcha.
yeah, an interim. But yeah, come back on Friday.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. You too. Be well, everyone.